So I grew up in Camden, one of 8 children, and times were really hard for us. I had a parent that was really ill and a sister that was very ill, and being like the youngest of the 8, it was very difficult for me to get any attention. At that time I felt no one cared about me, so I ended up playing up at school, getting involved in like gangs, drinking alcohol, staying out on the streets, fighting. I got chucked out of several schools, and it just sort of became like a roller coaster of just more and more things adding on top, and just being really angry towards the world. What then happened for me is I ended up getting into a relationship where I got pregnant really early, because I thought that would be someone that would love me forever, just unconditionally. So I had my child, but I had no GCSEs, didn't have any money at all. I then come out of that relationship, that didn't work. I was now sort of homeless. And then I then got into a really abusive relationship for several years where I was stabbed, I had my ribs broken, I had a load of stuff happen. And then I was put into hiding for a year. And it was a really traumatic time. I just felt like the whole world was against me. I want to get a job, but I can't because of my qualifications, which I haven't got any. I haven't got any money. I just didn't know where I was going to go. So what I started to do was like write poems and songs to get my feelings out, because I didn't feel like I trusted anyone to do that. So I started writing songs, and it was just like a real nice release for me to be able to do that. And one day, a guy came up to me. He was like, "Do you want to come to the studio?" And I went to the studio and just started to lay down some tracks and stuff like that, just being creative and getting it all out. Obviously later on we ended up putting a track out, it done really well, which led to then me getting signed to Polydor. And I did some amazing things, I did go on tour, I did work with a lot of producers and other artists, but what happened was I wasn't actually happy with myself, so I ended up spending all my money and just sort of going home and really hating the person that I was. Nothing had really changed for me. It was just that I had this money and a name, so to speak. So because of that, I ended up losing the record deal because I wasn't in the right place, and I lost all the money, and I went absolutely from like being ground zero to minus. Now I was like, people know me, I've got this image to keep up, and I can't do it now. And I was just at the bottom, so I was self-harming, I was drinking, I feel emotional. So I was at the lowest point that I probably could be. I just felt like that was it. It was over for me. There was nothing else I could do. And what I used to do also, which I really enjoyed doing, was teaching songwriting lessons. So I used to teach like some young people what a song is, how to create a song, stuff like that. And whilst I was in the building, in the next room, there was a course going on, which was a goals course. And I went up to the director, Philip Collette, and I said, I'd really like to do the goals course. And he was like, "Yep, fine, come along." It just turned my life around, and I was just like, you know what, Philip, I just want to be part of goals. I was determined that I was going to be in this organisation and become somebody within the organisation, and I was determined that by any means I was going to get the message of goals out there, because I know what it had done for me and how it had raised my confidence. It was just an amazing opportunity to go out and find young people and get them into the programme and get them to experience what I experienced and change their attitude and literally turn their lives around and get them into an apprenticeship, a work placement, or even education, things that they thought they couldn't find or do because of qualifications or any barriers. And I just wanted to get that out there, and we by any means, that's what we done. If we had to hit the streets, we hit the street. Since I've been on the ESF project, I've become a volunteer and learnt how to be in the office, how to engage a lot of the young people. When I'm mentoring, I make sure that they're very welcome from the beginning, because I understand that they've been to several organisations. I think with all of our young people, we really get that understanding. For example, when I go into a group, and if they're sort of really quite resilient at first, or they're a bit sort of suspect as to what we're going to be doing, we'll talk about our experience. So I might say, I come from Camden, and I say about, the experiences I've been through. And I think that that's the most important thing before anything else, is that they need to feel they trust you, and they do. And that's what we have a lot. It's because we have that real connection with the young people. We're not only there just to hit targets or anything like that. We're there for the people ultimately first. And I think that shows with the relationships that we have with the young people. Having that ethic through goals is what makes it a success. What I want to do in the future is to stay with goals and progress, and obviously learn a lot more and grow in the team. What I'd really like to see is goals nationwide, so a lot of the young people in different areas get to experience what a lot of our young people have experienced, and ultimately I'm happy doing my dream job.